What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to break down what's happening with the economic calendar moving forward. But just know that I'm not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, the market is doing a good job at holding up. There are some anomalies such as Tesla, which pumped only to slow down. But for the most part, the market is pumping. There are buyers defending. So let's talk about some key levels in just a minute. I first want to talk about this. We got our data that came out, the S&P Global Composite PMI report. This one was technically aligned with expectations, not bad whatsoever. But then our services PMI was a little bit below what we were expecting, so a little bit weaker. Weaker data, at least on that in that section. So when it comes to other pieces of data, the bill auctions were all okay, and I'm not seeing anything else that's too crazy for the rest of the day. So what's happening so far? The answer is so far, SPY has been on a slow grind up, slowly pushing. It is a little bit tricky because of the choppy price action, but nonetheless, it does look a bit more bullish. Now, I do want to say that when you zoom out of SPY, right, we still have this head and shoulders. There's a left shoulder here. There's a head and there's a right shoulder. We couldn't validate it if we just continue to pump and we break past 602. If we don't break past 602, if we come short and SPY gets a rejection between 600 and 602, then yes, this could still pan out. It's still a possibility. So what is good for the bulls is the fact that we're trying to break out of this trend line right here. So I had this trend line drawn out. So you guys can see we're actually breaking past this. So we're going to be approaching very close to 600 if we break that. If 600 holds, our next target is 602. But then I'd be very careful because it's going to be a very tough resistance. The last time we hit that, we did get this big rejection. So I'd warn you to be careful. If we lose 598, we could be dumping back down towards 595 all the way back down to that level. For now, SPY is on a slow grind up, and we're going to be watching to see how it reacts to 600. I think so far we are favoring upside. For ES, we look a bit more bullish as well. We're looking for essentially this trend line to be tested near 6,070, a little bit under that. I call that 60-60 in my morning video, and lo and behold, that panned out. If we break this, we're looking for 6,100 as our target. If you reject, we're looking for a break below 60.37. So if that fails us, we're looking for 6,001. So overall, we look a bit more bullish. We have a double bottom forming on ES, and we're trying to break out here. So I think we're doing a good job. However, there is a tough resistance around 60-70, so watch that carefully where the trend line happens to be. And if we break that, we're going to be looking for a bigger push. Overall, we'll see if we try to break past 6,100 to turn really bullish or not. If we can't break that, there's still that head and shoulders that's present on it. So we'll see if that pans out or not. But so far, we do look a bit more bullish, and we should be approaching the 60-70s. We'll see if we can hold above the trend line or not. For now, we favor upside. For Nvidia, we look a bit more bullish because we have been holding above 150 exactly as I predicted. We're looking for 152 as our target. If that breaks, we're looking for 155. It looks a bit more bullish, and I expect 152 plus to be tested very soon. For Bitcoin, we look a bit more bullish, but the problem is we're at tough resistance at 102,000. If we break that, we're looking for a bigger push. If we reject, we're looking for a dip back down towards 100, 100,800 or so. I think that so far 102,000 is a tough resistance. We'll have to see if Bitcoin could break it. But there's going to be a lot of shuffling in this 102,000 range. If we don't hold it, then we're going to be looking for a pullback back down towards, very close to 100,800 around that area. So just be careful in case we do get some kind of rejection. Now, Tesla pumped exactly as I predicted to about 425. That was my target. However, right, it was not able to hold above that level. So it pumped, and then after that, it started to reject, and now we're below 410. So we have support. A very, very important support was around 410. We need to try to hold that if we can't. If we can't get back above it by close, we're going to likely continue to dip towards 402 as a potential target. If that fails us, we're looking for a much bigger dip. So we're watching to see how this ends up moving. 402 could be at the next target, and then we'll just have to wait and see. So just keep that in mind very, very closely. For NQ, we look a bit more bullish. 21,900 is going to be our target. If that breaks, we're looking for essentially 22,000. If we lose support, we're going to be looking for a dip towards 21,750. Overall, we'll be watching to see how this ends up moving. We're in a range right here. We could try to get closer to 22,000 on NQ, but the thing is, watch resistance at 21,900 first. And let's just see if we can hold this trend line first. So I think we're doing a good job, and we do favor upside a little bit more. For the QQQ, we're looking at 528 as resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 530. It is looking quite good so far, and we could be favoring upside off this double bottom. Let's see if we hold above 525 at the very least. That's where the trend line happens to be. And as long as that holds, we could continue to push closer to 528 than 530. For Apple, we look a bit more bullish. We'll have to see if we can break past 246.5, then eventually 248. So watch those levels very closely. If we lose 244, we could turn back down. I think we're still favoring upside. So we could be looking for essentially 248 as our target. For other factors out there, we have, let me just double check, the Russell 2000. We have essentially this resistance around 228, and we have support at 225. That's our range. We could be looking for essentially 228s to break to turn more bullish. Otherwise, we're just range bound. For Coin has this resistance around this 290 area. If we break 290, we're looking for essentially 295. If we break below this, if we can't hold 290, we're looking for a dip back down to 285. Overall, we look more bullish. So we'll have to see how things end up going. On Amazon, we have a double bottom here. If we manage to break past 229, we're looking for essentially the 230s. And if we reject here, there's going to be a dip back down towards 226.8. I'm going to be looking for an attempt for 230 on Amazon. It's coming. It's at some tough resistance, so just be careful. There's not a whole lot of upside left in that move unless we break 230. For Meta, we pumped. I talked about how there could be a double bottom here. We did a good job at holding up, and we're going to be looking for an attempt to try to hold above 625. If we break that, we remain a lot more bullish. If not, there's going to be a range to watch for between 617 and 620, the 625 range. That's going to be our range. If we lose 616 to 617, we will turn back down. Otherwise, we're just range bound now unless we break 625 again. So watch Meta. It might just be range bound where we currently are. If Microsoft could hold above 431, we're looking for an attempt for 435. And if Google could break and hold above 198, we're looking for 200 plus. Overall, I think we're doing a great job. The VIX is also dipping here. We have a gap to fill down here. This could dip to fill this gap now. So I'm watching a lot of these gaps on the VIX, and that's happening as the market's pushing. So for now, the market remains a lot more bullish. So we'll see how well SPY could hold up. We came very close to 600, but just know this, guys, even though it is trying to push, be careful because technically we still have a head and shoulders, right? The head and shoulders is still present on SPY. If we can't break 602, if we come short and we reject, that's going to be a sign that the head and shoulders will likely pan out. And if it doesn't happen, if we don't end up getting that rejection, and this continues to just run and run and run, if we break 602, then we can try to invalidate the head and shoulders. So we're going to be watching it over the next couple of days. With that being said, watch SPY attempts to get close to 600. We already did that, so we'll see if we can try to break past it and hold it. Otherwise, look for a little bit more upside. It's slowly creeping up. So are other tickers out there, and then we'll just have to see how it goes. Be careful if you're holding short dated options because the chop is going to hurt premiums. And with that being said, I thank you for listening. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one, and peace out.